Greetings and salutations, Narathians and adventurers. This is Eldraga, back with another YouTube series. We're going to be doing a full Let's Play playthrough, whatever you want to call it, or whatever I end up calling it, playing through the entire game, through every zone, every quest, whether it's trade scaling, it's evil, it's good, even if it's neutral. I know in the later game they kind of combined both sides. So at some point, I'm going to have to figure out which one, arguably, I guess, is the most popular, and then go with that one to continue the story once the storylines kind of converge. Spoiler. Ooh. With some talk from a friend I had a couple months ago, because my absence has been long. Whew, let me tell you, I have so much to talk about. We're going to do a traditional server. We're going to play a warlock, I've decided. We already have a fighter. I'm going to probably start a couple more series, and I'm going to have a priest, and I'm going to have a scout, just to make it fun. I'm picking a warlock, which is basically the evil side of a wizard. Everyone knows what a warlock is. It's like an evil sorcerer. I do, damage over time. I'm casting some pestilence. I'm casting some evil spells. Like there'll be obviously like maybe a lightning bolt or whatever this game calls it. But the overall general idea is we are not for your health. And we're going to be playing a dark elf. Ooh. Okay. Interesting. We're going to customize them up a little bit. I kind of just like to randomize, to be honest. I'm very picky with my eye color, though. Let's do like a super... Yeah. I don't know what color that is. It's a type of blue. We can randomize his ears. Big ears is fine. Randomize his cheeks. Randomize his chin. Maybe he might have a beard, so you probably won't even see it. Nose. Yeah, it looks good enough for me. Hair. Let's see what we can... Oh, that looks pretty sick. Sure. Hair color. Let's get a let's get more of a gray. And the highlight color, we can have a white. He's kind of an older gentleman. Can randomize the color. Oh man, I like that color earlier. What was that? It was like a dark blue. Yeah, perfect. I always make my characters. Almost said caricatures. I always make my oh boy. Oh, it's starting already. Oh boy. I like to make my characters taller. We are going to be starting in Nariak. Overlord's Outpost is the original starting evil area. Where's Freeport? So that's the main enemy of Kinos. So technically, if you put my monk and my now warlock next to each other, they would, their rivalry goes back since the foundings of the cities. Nariak was an ancient city, if I remember correctly, right? Of the Tyrdal Empire. Heartless Stones, who's risen now with bare teeth. Perfect reflection of Anarch's tenants ruled by Queen Kristanos. And then there's Garwin, which is where the Sarnax are. They're scalier lizards, or mini dragons, whatever you want to call them. But we're going to be going to Nariak. We're going to be doing Halls of Fate. And we're going to do, since the other one is Urzael, we're going to do Urzazel. And let's see if that works. Nice. Sweet. Okay, there we go. I was about to say we're having technical difficulties. Please hold. But it's fine. Alright. The first thing we got to do before we talk to that guy and... Oh, get these out of here. Ignore everything. There's so many things that are going to happen. So I am a subscriber, and I've been playing this game since 2005, and I have tons of pre-purchase items. I have a ton of, increased stats because of, previous expansions. So this playthrough is going to be very, focused on leveling and level locking and clearing everything, step by step and as linear as I can get it. Because I want to show off everything. This is kind of like a timepiece. This is honestly kind of a selfish series for me. I want to be very open about that. I'm definitely doing this for me, and I'm just bringing people along the way. Because I could obviously do this by myself, but if the game shuts down in 10 years, 5 years, you never know when an MMO is going to shut down, really. I want to have as much of this game documented as possible so that when I hate my voice, because I am not a big fan of my voice, I can look back at it, I can mute it, I can be like, hey, look, this is, so-and-so zone. Do you remember doing this? Or, if I get through the full game, I can say, oh, man, I totally remember rating this and doing that, and, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Obviously, there's some content that will have changed from probably people who played back in the day. There's going to be several content things like raids and stuff that are either gone or events. Maybe they did like Sony events back in the day, or Dark Paw events that are maybe going on. Those may not be shown, sadly, but I'm gonna try and get everything I can that at least I would say is nostalgia for me and you, the audience. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, or dislike, whatever you decide. And let's have a blast. I just want to make sure that all my settings are set up. This window can disappear. My bags are kind of a mess. That's okay. So we're super slow. This is our guy. So I'll be honest. I am not, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, I am not a mage player. I do not like playing mages. I do not like a mage class. Not because they're bad. Not because I think, this or that. So one fundamental reason. It's the same thing I'll say if I ever do a priest playthrough, which I will at some point. I absolutely despise not being able to cast while moving. With mages, most of them have to stand still to cast. Hate it. Think it's god awful. I understand why. You have to do your ritual, you have to do your casting, all these things. But it's just miserable to me. I'm a very high, not high functioning. That's a very silly thing to say. And we're not going to do collection or trade scaling because most trade scaling is the same. If I see any collectibles, I'm going to try and pick them up, but we're probably not going to finish any. What I was trying to say is I'm getting off track. I'm running around. Oh, geez. I got to stand still. Sorry about that. The biggest issue for me, again, is, we don't need that. Is sitting still. I don't know what it is, but I'm so used to moving around while casting that I guess I'm spoiled is the best way to put it. There's also currently a swags event going on. Where there's double loot for everything. So I think it's either every chest or at the end of every heroic dungeon or something. And if you're at level 130, you get a bunch of the swag crates to buy stuff. So it's really good. I'll probably start rendering this and posting this tonight so that if you've made it this far in the video, and you have a level 130 character or a max level character, you can start doing solos, you can start doing heroics, you can start doing raids or whatever to get these boxes, because they give really good rewards. And I really suggest that you do them. They're really cool. But anyway, we're going to talk to this guy in really cool armor. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not even showing off how good this game can look. There we go. Welcome to very high quality, because my frames will tank at some point. Excellent, you arrived. You don't need to hear me narrate, but a thing that I need to remember to do is if you want to read the quests, absolutely, you can read them. So I'm going to go slow when I'm getting quests so that you know what's going on. Because if I also read this, I'll never finish this. I'll never finish this any of the playthroughs. There's a lot. Like a lot. But it's fine. Yeah. So again, because I have higher stats than normal, my playthrough's gonna look a lot different than if you started playing, right? I have 3,000 health. That you don't get that at level 1. I have 300 crit bonus. You don't get that at level 1. I have 516 stamina. You don't get that at level 1. I have 46.5 fervor. You don't get that at level 1. It's because I have been playing the game, I have benefits, and I'm playing on a live server instead of Origins, you know, in case that gets brought up. Because it would take, it's almost impossible in Origins to play solo, and it's really hard to make content where it would take me an hour to finish one quest. No one wants to see that. And if you say you do, I hear you, but I don't believe you. It is just insane. I commend you for it. Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. But that's just that's insane. Insane. And I must disagree. But yeah, so now that, you know, kind of here and, you know, starting to make videos again, I'm going to probably address the elephant in the room for those of you who did care. Where have I been? That's super easy. I moved. Okay, this might be a little loud. Hang on. Don't interrupt me while I'm telling stories, please. I already got an AoE, and I already got an upgrade. That's crazy. Right. So, I lived in the northeast of the United States, and at the end of June, I moved to the south. It was a 17-hour drive to where I am now. It was a long drive and alone. It was rough. And I've been kind of tossing myself between jobs. I just got a new job again. And I have more applications that I'm waiting for. So hopefully, you know, fingers crossed I can get them. But I just haven't had time to record. I posted a video a couple weeks ago, I want to say. And that's because I had recorded it before I left. And I didn't have the time to render it and post it. Excuse me. So I apologize for that. Absolutely. I really do want to try and make something out of this. I'm not expecting to make it my lifetime's work. But I want to, you know, be able to, you know, have some hold in some small niche area where people are like, oh, this guy's kind of cool. He's kind of neat. But besides the weather, I've been loving it. I am very much a enjoys the cold kind of guy. So moving to the south is unbearable. To be honest. Back home it's like 40, 50, 60 degrees in the end of September. And down here it's like 80 still. It's ridiculous. I'm just gonna reorganize my hotbars. There's a quest somewhere. Dania. Find the source of the attacks put into it. Okay. So in the other playthrough, I do a lot of things for /claim. So this is where you can find all of like my mounts. This is where like I can claim houses, familiars, mercenaries, all that stuff. Right now, I'm going to hold back. Because this is kind of going to be a mini-series. Most of the side starter areas do not have... They're just kind of supposed to push you from 1 to 20. And then they kind of move you out of the area. So this is just kind of a way for me to feel like back in the rhythm. To kind of get back in the game, I guess is the best way of putting it. Which, you know, kind of like really exciting, to be honest with you. And it's a good way to, you know, kind of I don't want like everything to be too stale, and I want to be able to kind of be like, hey, you know, I'm doing this. You know, if you're tired of seeing only just the good side, here's a little bit of the bad guys, you know, here's a little bit of the, you know, the mischief makers kind of thing. And obviously, you know, if you want to see me play a class, then I can do that. I have no shame in, you know, if you want to see me play a certain scout or a certain priest or a certain whatever, I can easily power level it, is the nice way of putting it, and level locking it in a certain area and showing off the class like that. Will it be as genuine? Probably not, because I obviously went through the effort of leveling it to where it's at a point where it's presentable. So it wouldn't be entirely authentic, I guess is the best way of putting it. But it would be... I think it would still be fine, personally. But, you know, obviously that's up to you guys. Because there's like 27 classes, 26 classes, 25, or there's a lot. Some of them are unique, very unique. Some of them are a hybrid. But realistically, there's kind of there's a good and an evil side of every class. Is the real way of putting it. So there's a wizard, which is kind of like your generic magician, but that leans more towards the good side. You know, back in the menu, I probably should explain it in the menu, but you know, we're already level 5, so it's a little late for that. I could do that in the videos going forward. The left side is good, the right side is evil. In some tabs, there is a middle one, and that's a hybrid neutral. Those are definitely ones you kind of have to buy. I don't know if they're unlocked now, but before you had to buy them. And they are a bunch of classes put together, and one of them is kind of good. One of them is not used anymore in endgame, but when they were used, they were busted, let me tell you. Like, everyone loved them but hated them because it either made their class obsolete or they found something new that they loved to play. But I kind of want to be unique. I feel like I said this in my monk playthrough, but I want to play classes that are not commonly used. You know, all the other playthroughs I see, people are playing a necromancer, they're playing a shadow knight, and don't get me wrong, I love those classes. Those classes rock. But, you know, in a game where there's 20-something classes, I should have looked it up. 26. There's 26. If I'm remembering the screen correctly. That's a lot. Dr. Manhattan costume. Oh my god. I don't know if I can show that. I'm just kidding. There's so many classes. And so many YouTube series that I've seen. I haven't gone through the rabbit hole where I've seen every single person, so I'm not going to speak for every single content creator. But other people who have covered this game, from what I've noticed, are very much in the realm of kind of playing the same classes. And I get it. It's really fun. It's really cool, especially because I do like those classes. But it kind of, again, takes away from showing off all the other classes that this game has to offer. There's so much, you know, and not being able to, you know, show off classes that maybe, you know, someone who's watching right now would have been like, oh man, I used to play a warlock back in the day. You know, how come I can't see like where warlock's at now? Kind of thing. Like, I want to be able to show that off. I have free level boosters. I have a ton of level boosters I could use. So if you wanted to see your class in the end game, I'm no expert. Don't get me wrong. You would not be seeing optimal play of your class. But you could see what your abilities are now. You could see what the stats are now. And you could be like, oh, you know, maybe this would be fun. I could talk to my fellow raiders that I raid with. And I could talk to, you know, my friends who have quit recently due to personal reasons. What classes are like ranked where and why, and like how they perform. Those are probably going to be videos way down the line because I am not smart nor how to edit. You know, insert millionth reason why I have been lazy. And we're gonna kill this name, by the way, because I want whatever he's got, and that whoever this person is now dead. Rest in peace. We're also gonna hit level 7 probably soon. Nice. Oh wow. Whoa. Okay. Cool. We got an earring and a two-handed. It deals more damage and we get more stats. Sure. We got our first buff. Cool. And it's just a mace. I'm sure it's fine. But yeah. So I don't know. You guys can. Oh, dang it! I do this every time I play this game. I always run back to the start when we're supposed to run to the next camp. But we're only 20 minutes in, and I'm already on the next camp. So it's like one. I think it goes 1, 2. No. 1. Yeah, 2, 3, and then sometimes you go into the city. Sometimes you go into the city. My game's gonna look different than yours, probably. I'm using Dark UI and EQ2 maps. They're not supported by Dark Paw, but they're really good for quality of life, is the best way of putting it. And this is a giant quest hub. So we could do this. The one thing I can do that I would say, yeah. Oh, I'm just skipping through these quests. I'm sorry. I literally turned my brain off. That's so awkward. I'm not even registering that I'm getting quests. Eek. English. Use your words. You're an intelligent guy. Come on. Quest hub. Oh, I have higher stats. I totally forgot what I was saying. I'm gonna be honest. I'm making stuff up now. But what I was probably gonna say is my stats are higher than yours. So when you don't do as I do, because I am. Oh, that's not what I wanted to cast. I wanted to cast Cataclysm. I have an AoE, a dot AoE, so that's nice. And I have a lot of health. So normally, a new person starting out, a free-to-player, this is whatever you want to say, would struggle. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it would be a little hard to do this, in my opinion. I would be stressed. I would hate doing this. I'm only doing this because I'm stupid. Oh, Dark UI and EQ2 maps is what I was doing. Yeah, they're a huge quality of life. They kind of... some issues with them is they can be confusing. I would say that EQ2 maps is sometimes really convenient and really good. Other times, it's okay. Some places don't have maps that have been out, and there are places that have maps that came out 2 days ago. It's a little inconsistent, but it's fine. What you saw, what I did earlier, was a lore and legend. So for people who are new, that is kind of their way of like rewarding you for killing creatures they designated as either important enough or consistent enough. Like you'll see them enough where they drop these items, and it's like it's you studying your foe. It's kind of like a neat little add-on they do, and basically it's supposed to be like, you know, once you finish it, you get the special ability that can only target the creatures you've studied. So like right now we're killing zombies, and if I kill enough zombies, I will now have in-depth knowledge of them by completing their lore and legend. And I'll get like this Master Smite or whatever it's called that can only be used on zombies and other like creatures to have like a little extra spell against them. Because, you know, you went through the effort of killing them, you don't know what they are, and, you know, all these, you know, minor details or whatever. A lot of them are drops, and the harder part of the quests, in my opinion. Some creatures don't have it, so like you'll find bears a lot, but they are not. I don't know the reason why they chose certain creatures for it, but bears are not one of them. So if you were hoping that you could do a lore legend on bears, I hate to disappoint you. But bring this guy over here. I have a bear cub. Nice work. Yes, he wants me to kidnap cubs. Gasp. And obviously, you know, if I'm saying something and I lose my train of thought, or it's something you want me to go more in depth, absolutely leave a comment, please. I would love to splurge about the nerdiest of stuff. It's in the works. It's not very far in the works, but at some point I do want to make a video that explains all the stats of this game, because a lot of them are either no longer in use, no longer as important, or really important. Like some are way better than others. The only issue with stats, like any other game, it's very opinionated, is the best way of putting it. Some people think one stat is better than the other, and, you know, it's been a contention. Sometimes the developers kind of lean in towards one being better than the other, but generally it's a rotating system of, like, a game update or GU. Like, one will be really good, like really good. Like everyone's like, "How this isn't even fair? Like this is so good." And then next game update, they'll release new items, or they'll change what, you know, the fundamentals of something, and it's just hot garbage. Sometimes they experiment with new things, and they're either so integral or kind of coded into the game they can't get rid of them, or in most common cases they just nerf it. It's very rare. There's only a few where they've really, like, you still see the stat, but you can't get it anymore. You can only find it on, like, older items, which are obsolete. You know, you can't use those items in current content, not unless you sacrifice a lot. There are some things they've added that are very contentious in the community, putting that in the nicest way possible. Where some people are kind of like, you know, WTF? Like, why would you add this? So it's a little, you know, juggling. Is there anyone else in the zone, by the way? Oh, there's a person called Tenny. Hello, Tenny. If you ever come across this, shout out to you. Now, oh, so skeletons are another one. I don't want. Is the staff better? No, it's the same thing. It's just a staff instead of a mace. It's fine. Skeletons are part of the lore and legend, and yeah, bears and stuff aren't. But I do remember if you kill enough skeletons, or the moldering soldiers, they drop, I think it's like a badge that you can turn in. I can't remember if it's off of their actual body or if it's off of a chest, but I'm almost certain it's from the soldiers. I think it's like a 1-something drop. We'll find out, because I'm going to keep killing them. But if I start leveling too quickly, I'm going to turn off experience. So in this game, you can turn off experience, and you can mentor. So if you have a friend who's level 100, and you're level 1, and you're like, I don't want to, you know, go through all the leveling and stuff, like I want to just get to the end, they can level down to you. All their stats are reduced, but they're the most powerful level 1 you'll ever meet. Like, I mean, the only higher level is 130, but I'm just using 100 as an easy thing. So it reduces their stats. Oh my gosh, that guard charged that skeleton and just killed it. Oh my god. And they can, you know, play with you. Oh, please, frames, don't do this to me now. Don't embarrass me. I have a decent computer, I promise. So we found a skeleton skull. We found another skeleton arm. Eek. I swear I'm going to hit level 9 before I find this item. Or I'm supposed to wait till I complete another quest to get it, which is possible. But let me see if this says anything. Field of Ruin. Moldering soldiers needed for public service quest. Okay, I'm going to walk away from him. We're just going to turn in the quests. And if it drops, it drops. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm going to try to... Obviously, I'm going off of memory here. Because this one's is way more linear. but one man's waste. Oh, I'm a terrible YouTuber. Look at me. I'm just literally clicking through these quests. I'm so sorry.
Was that all? That it is. Very nice. I do believe our partnership will work out fine.
So much for nostalgia, eh? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so I need to collect scraps from moldering. Okay, let's just take a. What is this? Scene visibility. So they had little cool things they added to characters and discarded weapons. I need these. Nice. These actually used to matter. They honestly don't really work anymore. Sometimes we in like new content we kind of theorize that it's being used again, but like scene visibility is not a thing that's really common anymore. There's like a thermal and like a heat radar and stuff like that, but they're not really used anymore. They're just kind of like cool little additions and add-ons to add flavor to your characters if you want that kind of thing, you know. It's not crazy. It's nothing really special anymore. But some of them change your vision. Like this, it won't. But basically, if there's anything invisible, I should be able to see it. But there's some limitations. So I can't see like a level 130 invisible because they're just out of. Oh, that's super awkward. That was my alarm. I'm so sorry. If you heard that, I apologize. I forgot I had it. But we're killing Echo Breath as well. He's a 1-up. And I can explain challenge stuff too, because we're seeing our first one. But I forgot what I was saying. It's also 11:30 at night, so, you know. My gosh, what was I saying? See invisibility, right. Thank you, brain. So I wouldn't be able to see 130. They could see me, obviously, even if I wasn't stealth or not. It's honestly a little confusing. They don't really do a good job of keeping some of the cool little flavor stuff in. But the dev team's really small now. They're kind of overworked, underworked. It's a whole mumbo jumbo. It's either very political or it's very touchy. Sometimes you can voice your opinions and feel and criticize them. Other times it's I'm not trying to get on the blacklist when my career's not even taken off yet. If there even is a career, not to get ahead of myself. But yeah. It's okay. You can say whatever you want. If you're in America, it's a free country. So now we're just killing some more skeletons. Right. So some mobs have arrows, depending on the settings you have turned on. I have the settings where they're arrows. Where there isn't one. They're facing up, and they're facing down. If they're facing down, they're easier. That's it. They're easier to kill. Generally. There's a couple key hints and things you'll see where you're like, oh, this will be super easy, and it wipes the floor with you. Generally, in my experience, it's either a huge group of them, so you think they're weak, but they actually outnumber you, so there's more damage being hit overall. You can kill them faster, but their damage output is way higher. If they're, a single arrow down, a double arrow down, or a triple arrow down. And now you flip it. If it's a single up, it's a single up heroic, that's what we call it. But if it's one arrow up, then it's manageable. You should be cautious and careful, and they might be grouped or whatever, so you just have to be a little mindful of what you're pulling and where your health is, and do you have an escape route, things like that. Otherwise, it's kind of it's a balance, right? So 2 up arrows starting to get difficult. It's kind of like it's like a hard difficulty. You should be very careful. Odds are it's with a group, like it's not just a single. There's normally 2 or 3 of them, and that's when you want to start having a group. It's when you want to start having like maybe 3, 4 people. A triple up heroic or 3 arrows up. That's when it's like, unless you have like insane stats, insane gear, like you know exactly what you're doing, like, or you have a, it's recommended you have a group of 6 for those. A group of 6. So instead of the 1, so like these guys are meant to be soloed. The more people you have, the way easier they are. Like this is like, for me, I'm overtuned because of my stats, realistically speaking. These guys are a cakewalk. This is just free experience, free quests for me. For you guys, if you're free to play or you don't have boosted stats like I do, oh, chest, aspect of darkness, nice. I'm pretty sure that's my little buff here, which I think is freaking noxious. Oh, it's max power and it's mitigate. Okay, I was right. I completed all the quests. It's crazy. I know that there's a quest you for getting these from these moldering soldiers, and it's bothering me. It's not dropping. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, well, I have way more scrap armor than I ever needed, so I'm just gonna run back. It's okay. If it doesn't drop, it doesn't drop. I'll just be crazy. So if we're lucky, okay, so right here. So this is a 1-up heroic, right? And it even tells me, it says looks way too tough for you. Don't even think about attacking this creature, but that's because it's red. Otherwise, it says this counter is well suited to an individual. So that means that a single person can fight it. If I was level 25, I have a decent shot of killing it or fighting it. There was a guard that we saw earlier that absolutely slaughtered a skeleton, and when we can find him, I think that one's a triple up. Ow, my eardrums. Apologies. We hit level 10. And now that we're level 10, there's even more stuff to show off now. Okay. So, 37 minutes, we hit level 10. Not normal. What is all this stuff? Oh my gosh. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. Jesus. Just so. Duration. Okay. We're level 10. When you hit level 10, because, so in Kingdom of Sky, or it's either Kingdom of Sky or Echoes of Fëdor, they release this thing called Alternate Advancement. And you unlock it by hitting level 10. Once you hit level 10, you have this little extra menu, and it's just kind of spice up your class. It's supposed to give you more spells and more, attributes. Just a little kick, a little oomph, I don't play many other MMOs, and I don't think there are many other MMOs that have this kind of thing, so it's a little hard for me to compare it. And if you do know, please tell me. I would love to know more information. But there's a bunch of different tabs. So right here is the Dark Elf and character development. Again, press L. That's the default. You can change it if you don't like where it is. This, every 10 levels, you get an advancement. You get a little extra help. So with this class, I have Ultravision. Provides high contrast vision but washes out color. So this is perfect. So if I cast Ultravision, I should have totally said big warning, but it turns your screen purple. And it's just kind of a little thing. It's supposed to wash out color, high contrast vision, nothing fancy. I have Malicious Velocity, which means innately, because I am a Dark Elf, my out of combat run speed is always at 5% extra. So normally you're at 0%, but because we're a Dark Elf, we have 5%. Hover is the fancy way. Hover allows me to fall without taking fall damage. And it's a thing that some races have. Why Dark Elves have it? Not really sure, but it basically slows my descent so I don't die. The big thing that's really good is some of these clans, some of them have calls. So for me, I have Traverse Shadow. So the Dark Elf, which is me, or Zazel, can click on someone in my group. So if I'm back at the entrance and my friend is all the way over here somewhere, I can traverse shadows and it calls me to them. It teleports me to them. So now I'm next to them. I didn't explain it, but mages, most of them, if not all of them, use intelligence. And there are classes that you pick that mix well with other classes. You can play whatever you want, to be clear. You know, if you want to role play, or if you if you want to be a dwarf and you want to be a mage, like, you can do that. There's no issue. But every race, every, you know, whatever you want to call it, every decision for which character can be has the opportunity to be good at something. Dark elves are good at being mages, like warlocks and necromancers, or scouts. Which is why if you hover over these, I can either increase my intelligence or my agility. Obviously, I don't use agility, so I'm going to ignore that. But I now have the option of presumed brilliance for intelligence. In combat, I can have my disruption and subjugation, you know, increased by 5. What does that mean? Let's look. Disruption reduces your target's resistance to your disruption spells. So there's a spell for disruption where, like, you can, it has a chance of stopping their cast. It's kind of more important towards players if you're doing PvP, but it doesn't really work on NPCs, to be honest with you. The only time is if it's an actual knockback or a stun or whatever. Ministration is your heals and cures. Don't have to worry about that because we don't heal, or we can cure, but we don't heal. Ordination is so basically when I'm casting, and like if I'm casting a group buff, I'm trying to do something that, you know, puts on someone, it just makes it easier to not fail or interrupt or whatever. And the same with weakening my enemies. Subjugation is how well you control command pets and control monsters. So this is big for, like, coercers. Their whole job is to what we call mesmerize, but it's kind of a way of basically saying, hey, NPC creature out in the wild, you are now my pet. And the higher this is, the less likely they are to break free. The higher spell tier your, you know, mez is, the better it is. Dark celerity increases the casting speed of hostile spells. So in here, there's a thing called casting speed at 0%. So when it hits 100%, it's casting as fast as it can in the game when you hit 100%. It's a hard cap, from my understanding. Same with reuse speed, and that's how fast your spells come back. Very easy to get and very important for the higher tier, but the lower tier, you don't really have to worry about it. So you don't have to worry about it. But if I wanted to, 2% casting speed isn't crazy, but when you remember that's like what, 1/50th of being faster than normal, in a tight pinch it could be life or death. But normally it's not that big of a deal. Like, odds are I'm not picking it, but it's there. And this is all the mage stuff. This is all of the, well, arguably this is more of the mage stuff. This side is more of the scout stuff. So there's a theme. Ancestral Ire is multi-attack. So in this game, there's passive attacks, which is your auto attack. So you see down here I have the 2 swords. This is melee auto attack. And if I press K and go to ranged auto attack, that would use my ranged weapon. Right now it's just a wand. It's nothing special. It does a lot of damage, but it's nothing special. And so basically, if you don't have any mana or you're not casting, you're still actively doing damage. There are some games where it requires you to constantly click. There is no auto attack. You have to constantly be doing something, and it's to keep you engaged. This game, if you build it correctly, you can have a really strong auto attack and you can kill creatures without even having to cast. There is a cooldown to your swing, and you can get this thing called haste, which makes it attack faster. But multi-attack is basically, you know, if I do 1 swing, the game can consider it to be 2 swings, or 3 swings, or 4 swings, or whatever. Obviously, the numbers that higher, you know, the bit higher the thresholds are, it's a lot harder to figure out. Sharp-witted is increasing your piercing and ranged. It's not going to affect my class at all. I don't pierce, and I kind of use range, but it's not a big deal. Non-combat, there is duration of trade skill potions. So trade skill is crafting, and you can be an alchemist, which makes potions, and increasing the duration by 15% is actually a lot. There's some potions that last 30 minutes. There's some that last 10 minutes. There's some that last 2 minutes. So getting a little extra, getting 15% is actually a lot more. It's a bigger bang for your buck. As you get higher level, power doesn't become that much of an issue, especially if you have like really good food and stuff. But low level, power is really hard. So for example, I have 3,000 health, almost 3,500 health, but I only have 300 power. So if I'm just throwing out spells, I'm casting like crazy, I'm doing it, and I run out of power, I'm now a 3,500 health warlock swinging my mace every 7 seconds. The creature has mana, probably, depending on the fight. So it's casting and hitting me, and it's also auto-attacking. So I'm in a net loss. But with this, I can increase my power regeneration. But it's out of combat. So in combat, it's not helpful, but out of combat, it helps me get into the fight faster. It just helps me get into the fight faster. Master Shadows we don't have to worry about, but it increases the stealth or invisible movement. So most mages, if I recall correctly, get a... Whoa. Did my screen just change color, or was it just like a daytime thing? That was weird. Okay, anyway. You can get visibility, so you walk around, and visibility destroys your movement speed. Like you are molasses. You're moving at 0%. You are slow. This helps if you're trying to move a little bit faster. 15%, not bad. Poisons from trade skilled poisons. Again, something you get from the alchemist. A lot of things that happen with scouts is you use poisons. They're kind of just like debuffs, basically. Some of them do damage, but most of them are just debuffs. We don't have to worry about that. We're not going to be using potions because they're locked to... The poisons are locked to scouts. Hateful Mind, I believe, will increase my max power by 3%. It's not a lot, but when you're at, at 309 and then 3% of 309, it's not bad. This can increase my max health by 2%, so I already have 100% like stamina. Add another 2%. I don't really know how the math works out, but it's kind of like that. And then same with max power. So 1% of 309 would be added to my mana pool. Elemental Defiance increases mitigation. So mitigation is kind of important, kind of falls off at the end. Mitigation is kind of super easy on live now to figure out. Most items, if they say it, will just say all resistances. And there's different types of damage that you can take. So Arcane, I will absorb 51% of the arcane damage from a level 10 opponent. So instead of them dealing max damage, they're dealing a little bit less damage. But overall, and mitigation is just, physical. If you have high avoidance, that's your chance to basically weave, dodge, whatever you want to say. But it's nothing crazy. Toxic Intimacy is against Noxus damage. These can be good. But there's too many creatures that change their damage types to really matter. So you can do it, but I personally would say it's a waste. If you're big on trade scaling, which is crafting, you could do these. So progress is how much you complete, which is the blue bar if we ever do crafting. Press N to open that window, by the way. N as in Nathan. Progress is the blue bar, and green is the health bar. And the faster you complete stuff, the less you have to worry about the green bar. That's how I see trade scaling. I'm not a big trade scaler. You'll come to learn. Increased success chance. So there's a chance that you fail, like every time. So it's like you cast. There's trade skill spells. You cast them, and I think it's every like 4 or 5 seconds. It either registers that you succeed or you fail. If you fail, your health goes down. If you succeed, your health can still go down, but the blue bar moves up, and that's the most important, personally. If I want to make potions, I'm not really sure what the durability is, actually. those Darkos who choose alchemy as additional trade skill profession will gain additional durability increase. Well, so durability, progress and durability. Durability is the green bar, which has a percentage. The progress bar is a percentage. This will help refresh the durability, so you don't have to focus on keeping it at like max green. You can kind of spam more of the progress and get that finished quicker without worrying about the tier dropping. Reduce the power cost of all sage reaction arts by 10%. For trade scaling, there are 3 spells that increase durability at the loss of progress, and 3 progress spells that take the loss to durability. Both of them have 1 spell that costs power, and it takes a lot of power. Like, you go through your power quickly while trade scaling if you just spam it. So this reducing it, if you're a sage, which makes like books and stuff, by 10%, if you're really big on trade scaling, can be helpful. Otherwise, it's very selective. And lastly, Dark Armament is increased metal shaping. This is for making armor. And there's an armor smith, and it just helps, and it just helps making it progress faster and like have less chance of failing. Focus effects are basically all the spells and stuff that you have, and it's a passive spell kind of thing. It just adds a little bit extra like buffs to you. So for me, if I pick like speed, they're all going to give you the same buff. To be honest with you, they don't really change. They're all just kind of give you the same thing. But I think it goes on the spell or whatever. So I'm gonna pick, because again, it really doesn't matter. I'm gonna pick unrestricted because why not? Warlock training. This is their way of kind of like rewarding you as you level. Every 10 levels, once you hit 14, you can get a free Grandmaster spell. There are different spell tiers in Everquest. I don't know if they are in other games. They might be ranks or whatever. But in this game, there are higher tiers and there are higher levels. So there's Dissolve 1, right? So that's the level 1 base spell. And now I have Dissolve 2. That deals a lot more damage. 61 to 115 versus 19 to 35. At Apprentice, it is the lowest spell. It has a higher chance of being resisted. And it deals less damage, and it gives less buffs, etc., etc., etc. It goes Apprentice, Journeyman, Adept, Expert, Master, Grandmaster, Ancient, and Celestial. Celestial is the best. It's the most expensive. It's the hardest to get, but if you do get it, that spell goes crazy. Sometimes the Celestial version of an older spell is better than the newer spell, but your loss is the chance of that spell affecting the creature. If I try using a level 1 ability on a level 130 creature, I can still get the hit, but it deals less damage at some point and has a higher chance of resisting it. So it's better to use the newer versions of the spells, arguably speaking. Alternate advancement. I'm just going to do the basic solo. But this is all extra stuff, extra stats, extra abilities, things that make classes really broken, makes things, whatever. Prestige is when end game, trade skills end game, trade skill prestige is end game. And I think that's a decent explanation of advancements. With this, let me look. Right, so we got Ward of Sages. And we got Kintisset's Intelligence. So we get 3 familiar spells. And this lets you kind of change your things. So you could just be silly and summon a lesser gargoyle. Just because you can. So now we have a little pet gargoyle. But he doesn't give us anything. Drake can give us crit bonus overcap, which you literally won't have to worry about until endgame, so I'm not even going to explain it. Or crit bonus. It's super self-explanatory. When you crit bonus adds extra damage to that crit. So they'll hit 300% harder in PvE and 300%. So if I get a crit, instead of it doing 10, it is now doing 300% more. Fervor is the last thing that gets added, and it adds another 46.5% after all other modifiers have been applied. Fervor is really good endgame. It's very important. Start of the game, not really. But getting 0.3% crit bonus, or 0.1% crit bonus, still pretty good. We also got Ward of Sages. So now we have a ward. And a ward, if you don't know MMOs, is basically like a temporary shield. Is the probably the best way of explaining it. We're just gonna sneak through, and now I have a little book following me. See, look at him, he's a little cutie. And it's a ward that like auto. Oh, okay. I guess we'll fight you while I explain wards. It's like a temporary shield, basically. It's like temporary health. So they have, if they're dealing noxious elemental or whatever the ward may say protects you from, they have to eat through it before they can hit you. Right? So like if you have really low health, but you have a ward that, basically gives you an extra health pool, it's really freaking good. Endgame, arguably, almost everyone uses a ward. It's very rare that I see people not using a ward, because why wouldn't you use a ward? Wards are really good. Okay, we're gonna kill this necromancer because I'm jealous that I couldn't be a necromancer. I could have, but I self-willed. And again, in this playthrough, as things pop up, I'll explain it. Hopefully as best as I can. Again, I will never advertise myself as an expert. I will never advertise myself as being a know-it-all. I'm just going to explain things to you, and if someone in the comments knows more, correct me. The more correct information that gets spread, the better. No issue for me. At all. And it helps me be better at the game, because there are some things that I don't know, even after playing the game for so long, because I just never cared about. I just never bothered to learn it, or I just have someone else like do my stats. Like in Raid, I'm not known for stats. Like you don't come to me to be like, hey, Zoe, how do you build? Like, what stats are you wearing? What equipment are you wearing? I don't know. Go ask the leader. He's the one who's directing me. Like I don't know these things. And I'm very open about not knowing diddly squat. Very open about it, because I don't. And I'm not going to pretend I do, because that hurts people more than it hurts me.
Hey, wait! How good. Kill them for me so I can fish and great.
Yeah, I gotta kill Razor Maws. Okay. So we'll probably finish up this round of quests, and then we'll be probably past the 1 hour mark, and I will call it a wrap. But we're almost done with this area, so again, as I said, this is probably going to be a mini-series, because we're going to blow through this really quickly. Also, did I get any new gear that I didn't put on? New shoulders. Okay. So this quest, we have to kill snakes, and we basically take their babies. As I said, we're not always the good guys. And even when we're the good guys, we're the bad guys. Depends on how you, see it. But, yeah, the zone is not very big. Like, if I really wanted to, since it's almost 12 o'clock, I could probably do this grind out, because I have a day off tomorrow. Technically tomorrow, considering it's about to be today. I can 100% probably finish this entire zone. And there are some things that I didn't do, like I did in the other video. Like I didn't claim a familiar. I didn't, I could get a mercenary if I wanted to. I haven't done those things yet because I don't know if I need them. Like they're really, really good. Don't get me wrong. Like they're really nice to have, but the series might be over before I need those, so there may be no point. And we killed more snakes than we needed. Excuse me. Sometimes they drop 4, sometimes they drop 2. So it's hard to predict how many you need to kill. But we got the lucky number. And so now we gotta kill some razor maws, some alligators. But they're low level, so they shouldn't be too hard to kill. Yep. And so creatures in this game, like fish, cannot attack you unless you are in the water. So since they are kind of like a mix of being in the water and land, they have no issue with me pulling them on the side. Oh, also you can level up your swimming so you can swim faster. So right now we're swimming at like a snail's pace because we're not really good at swimming. We know how to swim, but we're not good at it. And the numbers for everything in the skills, so your aim, your focus, all these go up in increments every time you level. And they get like to 600 or whatever. So sometimes it's, if you're new to the game and you want to get to the end content, you can. Personally, wouldn't recommend it because first off, there's a lot of cool stuff in this game that you'd be missing. And this game has a lot of oh, look. So they're a triple heroic, right? So this encounter is well matched for a group of 3 or more. I disagree. 3 or more, if you have like the perfect setup, maybe, but arguably otherwise, absolutely not. Again, it's a red, so it says don't fight it. But generally, you don't fight triple heroics unless you've got a full group, because you're kind of pushing your limit. So I mean, if I was them, I would change it. But I digress. It's a small detail. But they're level 30. They're red, so it's gonna 100% say, looks way too tough to you. You know, don't even try it. And I won't, because I will die. Just because I have boosted stats does not mean I can kill everything. I will get owned.
Great. Oh, well, just help me catch them. Great.
I forgot she wants us to fish. And sometimes you get the classic harvesting quests, where all you do is you sit on the side of a river and you try to catch searing trout. For someone who is already fishing. Riveting content. Riveting. Yep. And so I'm gonna get one. I got one searing trout. Okay, that time that was way better. Way better. What the heck is that? Oh. Is it a rock? Yeah, or it's a sand or something. But notice how the first one spent like 20 years trying to get. And this one, some of these I'm just getting right away. And I'm getting tons of frog legs out of it. Fun fact, never actually have eaten frog legs before. So, if they're good, cool. The running theory or words that I've been told is it tastes just like chicken, but it's just, you know, smaller because it's a frog, obviously. Never had alligator either, so if I'm lucky, maybe I can find a place down here in the south that, you know, serves up some crocodile or alligator or some fish legs, and I can give those a good old try. Okay, so now we have 8 trout. So now we come back to her. We're going to talk to her. I can fish them up. So now we have to go to the other river, the fork in the river, while avoiding all of these undead. These are all skeletons. So we have to avoid all these skeletons. Oh, he started pathing towards me. And now we got to get seared char. Are you having fun yet if you've made it the entire hour? I know I am. I actually am, though. Even though I hate harvesting and trade scaling. But it is not that bad because I only have to do it once. I'm showing off the zone, showing off the creatures, I'm showing off everything. And then when I'm done here, I can move on to the next. I will not delete the character because people have a demand to see more of a warlock. And I gotta level him up. And I gotta get him geared and everything so people can see him in different content areas, you know? Whatever I decide to do for Freeport will be followed through and everything. So do be careful if you want to see more of the Warlock, because you may be seeing a double up of quests just with a different class perspective. Because if we go to the Common Lands, which is like in Tonica, but if we go to the Common Lands as a tank, or not a tank, as like a priest,
Did you get that?
and we have the Warlock, some people...
A much better fish. He's a recruit.
How can we catch
Like I
him?
said,
For the
he's in
challenge,
Good luck.
I need...
Have you found my lure?
Never.
You need your lure from... Oh! Ah, frick. Alright, we gotta kill a shark, by the way. In case you were confused at what she wants me to do. We're gonna kill Smolderfin. But, you know, if you don't want to see the monk anymore, totally fine. But I'm still gonna play him because he's doing the main Kinos storyline. And I want to show off the main Kinos storyline. Same with Freeport. If I play a scout and you guys go, oh, we like the scout, but actually we also just want to see more of the Warlock, I'm still going to play the scout because he's part of the main storyline. He's the MC. I'm making a bunch of side characters, basically is what's going on. Okay, so I have this. So I think... Okay. So basically with this, you have to keep getting the smoldering fish and throwing it into the lake, and after you do enough, Smolderfin comes out. So if you ever get stuck here, key is to just fish a bunch of smoldering trout, get a bunch of smoldering trout, and then just start hucking those bad boys. You just gotta start sending them out. And he'll spawn. You toss the trout, but nothing happens. It might take a little more to draw out the fish. Yeah. I don't remember if there's a specific area you're supposed to throw it. Freewater grouper. What the? Level 10 through 19? Yee. It's fine. Not really, but it's fine. Smoldering trout. I think you're supposed to do it near the waterfall. Or maybe you're not supposed to be in the water. You toss out of the corner, you notice moving beneath the surface, something is down there. Ah. Don't stand in the water. And now you have a little shark. A little shark dude you gotta beat up. Sometimes the models will be a little silly like this, yes. This guy is really hard if you're solo, so be careful. And then you beat him up. And now you bring the fish lure. You don't need the smoldering trout anymore. I don't need the shark tooth because I'm not going to sell it. I don't need any of this trade skill stuff because I'm not going to trade skill on this character. And now we have quest complete. Now there is supposed to be, aha, so there's a razor fang as well. Also, if you don't want to keep gaining levels, you can turn this into alternate advancement experience. So, you know, I'm at 97.1 right now. I didn't get any experience because it went into my AA. And so now the green bar has moved. And this happens normally when you do kill something, but you get a bonus for killing and named for the first time. So like we never killed Stormpaw before. But now that we're killing him, sometimes it'll say you get an extra 6 or whatever for killing this for the first time. And sometimes it won't happen. Well, that was really good. Just got a free wrist and a free earring. Easy stats. Thank you. Now I would wear that, but we're kind of looking really sick right now. So at some point, when we finish the quote-unquote like main start of this area, we're going to replace all of our starter gear, and we're going to look really cool. And I'm an appearance hoe, as I guess you could call it. So let's see. So this is better than the one we got earlier, so we can replace that. Echo Breath is up, but we've killed him like 4 times. There's only so many items that one mob will drop before you're just basically killing it to kill it. So you don't have to be too mean, alright? But when you complete quests as well, that experience that would have gone to leveling your adventurer is now leveling your alternate advancement.
Greetings.
We just got some new legs. Nice.
Never.
Hello.
Nice work. Nice work indeed. These will do nicely.
So the spirits, we have to reap their souls. And then have this super long cooldown. Now, when I was younger, this quest used to be kind of fun because people in the same quest would see them, so we would just kind of, you know, compete with each other. Be like, haha! I got it first! Now, I'm the only one left in my family who plays. Which is okay. I did get my brother and sister-in-law to play Origins for a little bit. But life gets a little busy, you know, so, you know, it's a little hard to expect people to keep up, and, you know, they've got this thing called real life. Gasp. I also have that, which is why, you know, I have been making YouTube videos, but here we are. We're back, baby. So I'm gonna finish up this round of quests, and then I will end the video. And I feel like this will be my official return. So tomorrow, I might just spend a lot of time recording. I mean, I have to clean up my room. My room's a mess, honestly. But after that, and I should have done laundry, but I can do it tomorrow because it's my day off. And then talk a little bit about my job. It's gonna be really crazy. It's gonna come full circle if you've been watching every single video of mine. I hope it would bring a little smile to the face for those of you who are gonna actually stick with me. If you don't, that's okay. It's no biggie. I don't think I'm that entertaining, so if you do, thank you. I personally think I thrive in group content. So if I can get people to play with me, friends, or whoever, that would be really cool. I think that would be really fun. Otherwise, you know, and see what I was saying earlier, like look at my power. I'm just throwing out spells willy-nilly, and so now I have all this health, and I can barely cast. Did I pick something from my character development? I didn't. So, because you've seen it physically, I'm going to get the power regen, because it helps a lot. Oh. I had spaghetti squash, meat sauce spaghetti squash for dinner, so I have a couple burps. And I have a fan that makes a lot of noise, and I'm really glad it's not getting picked up on the microphone, because it's just a constant like tick, 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 tick. Can drive someone crazy when they're sleeping. So it does the skeletons with the stun spore. Stuns target, must be classified as a skeleton. So I don't know if we're supposed to, if it kills them, or we have to kill them, or what. But with considering how, okay, let's see. Okay, so we have to fight them. Does it just make them? Oh yeah, so it just makes them. Okay. Can I stun them again? No. They're smart. They're onto us. I'm gonna actually put this to like 50. So the normal, or what it used to be. So depending on if you're, I think it's if you're a subscriber or preferred, or I think it's gold, it's bronze, silver, gold. If you're silver or bronze, I think it auto forces to 50. You cannot control the slider at all. Oh, There's another thing that I can explain another day. Don't worry about the really big, scary lady in the background. You do not see her. You do not see anything back there. It is a figment of your imagination. But if I go to 50, I shouldn't make my levels as quick. I shouldn't be out leveling. But if you notice, we're at the higher end of the quest, so 10 and 9. So I'm actually on pace for like my leveling, which is good. I believe as well, when you make a level, you instantly get, yes, okay. So when you're leveling as well, they kind of made it as like a catch-up mechanic, where I didn't cast the thing on it, did I? What is this? Oh, the Grasp of Bertoxilus. Bertoxilus is a god, and it basically is a buff you can cast on yourself and allies, and it makes them deal extra damage. It's like you have a chance to proc or whatever. I gotta get close. Nope. Come here. Let me paralysis you. Thank you. I can actually tell you what it does. So, on a combat hit, this casts Venomous Runes. This is really broken end game, by the way. Really broken. Like, really, 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 really broken. Anyway, it deals damage every 4 seconds. It does a lot. Like, a lot. Spoilers. So if you ever need to know if a Warlock is good, Warlocks are good. Highly recommend. There's a place for you if you played a Warlock. You just need to spend a lot of time gearing up. Especially because we're nearing the end of the expansion. They're going to be releasing one more GU, and then it's the next expansion. Probably December. So, 3 months away, give or take. 2 months away, because we're almost in October. Get rid of chat. Should have just been hiding chat to begin with. Treasure chest. Okay, so we can return to the camp. Yep. Get rid of that. And we can start doing the end of the video. This was awesome. This is great. I kind of feel like I'm reaching a place in my life where I can balance work again, because I just got a new job. And I can balance YouTube and kind of doing the things that I enjoy doing. If you've stayed to the hour 17 mark, which I'm so sorry, but if you did, I am thinking of kind of branching out from just Everquest and becoming like a variety stream. Or not stream. Ooh, easy there. A variety YouTube gaming channel. Where I kind of just record whatever I'm playing. Okay, this is actually perfect. So you can see this says secondary or ranged, right? So I'm wearing a two-hander, so it cannot go in my secondary, which would be here, right? If I was using the staff, no, not the staff. If I was using the wand, right? This is a one-hander, so now I can equip this. I get stats, but I don't get damage. So I'm still, if I was swinging with my wand, I'm still getting the 1 to 5 damage plus whatever modifiers. Or I'm doing the 2 to 11, getting less stats, but my auto attack is better. I could also put this in my ranged, but with the range, you see it says 3 to 16 damage with an 8-second delay. So every 8 seconds, I'll do 3 to 16 damage plus modifiers or whatever. If I put this in my secondary, it does not deal damage. If this can be in a secondary or ranged, you will not deal damage with it. That's not good. That's not great. I lied again. We're going to go do this quest real quick because it's super easy. I throw souls into a giant soul well. But let me know what you think. I like to play a lot of RTS games, a lot of solo games, a lot of campaign style games where like there is a like Dawn of War, or like Battle for Middle Earth, or they just released Age of Mythology Retold, and I played I literally I have all 50 out of 50 achievements. I love the game. And, I could stream it, I could record it, I could do a lot of things with it. So yeah, let me know. But I kind of want to stick to EverQuest. But I don't want to be a channel where if I don't post EverQuest, like the algorithm will punish me, I guess is the good way of putting it. Because there was this guy who I followed who did a lot for another MMO, and he reached a point where he kind of got burnt out because he was posting way better content than me, but he got burnt out, and because he tried branching out with his channel, it wasn't getting promoted, and he basically had to start over, and that kind of sucks. But enough rambling. Let's sit next to this really cool person and try to make it where there we go. No, hang on. There we go. Thank you so much for watching. Great to be back. I hope this mini-series, goes really well and people enjoy it. I'm going to... Why'd you turn? There's no one there. Kind of rude. You still look cool. So respect. But I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, or dislike. And yeah, tell me what you want to see. Tell me what you don't want to see. Should I post non-commentary music? Should I post non-commentary gameplay? Like, should I just, if you think that my commentary takes away from the nostalgia of the game, I can turn the music up and I can mute my microphone and I can just play through the audio. Let me know. But anyways, keep adventuring. Take care. Have fun. And keep it real. Peace.